Hello, my name is Ruth Elliott-Smith and this is my first novel. It's a terrorist thriller set in the Middle East at the time of the Six-Day War in the 1960s. And I'm going to read you some of it today, and if you want to read more, you'll be able to get it on Amazon, either as a Kindle ebook or as a paperback like this, or shortly as an audiobook. So first, a little bit about me. Ruth Elliott-Smith is an exciting new writer. A journalist in Jerusalem and the occupied territories just after the Six-Day War, Ruth survived crossfire on the Suez Canal, minefields on the Golan Heights, and a mortar attack on the Lebanese border, all of which she draws on for this, her debut novel. Now the plot. A beautiful hostage, a born warrior, and a sadistic killer. The battle for Jerusalem is won and lost. The dust of the Six-Day War settles. A feisty British heroine and an Arab war hero are trapped in a tangle of deceit and treachery, manipulated by a deranged extremist intent on toppling the region's fragile stability. Their fight brings carnage, terror, and despair, but ignites a passionate affair in their frantic quest for survival and revenge. The Sword is a compelling novel which keeps you on the edge of your seat with multiple red herrings and intrigues till the final twist on the last page. Well, we won't get to the last page today, but we will read the prologue. The air ripped as the jets streaked in again, their engines drowning the screams below. Black bombs flew in graceful, curved and deadly descent, mirroring the mist-air's ascent as they cleared the blast zone. She bent forward, shielding her head with her hands, cradling the old man's head protectively in her lap as the shockwaves hit, knocking the breath from her, showering them with debris. Panic-stricken refugees filled the street, women crying for children they could not find, men shaking their fists at the sky and shouting obscenities, dazed and bloodied victims stumbling, swept along by the crowd. The jets wheeled, diving, coming in low for another run. God, would they ever stop? The Browning peppered the air above, trained more in hope than expectation on the path of the killing machines, relentlessly smashing the heart of the old town. Bastards, she yelled, bracing herself, the word lost in the roar of engines as the jets passed, their bombs already shed. The ground rocked. The blasts deafened her, so she no longer heard the Browning, the cries of the stragglers. Nor did she hear the cheer that went up at the mist air trailing a tail of black smoke. But she saw them point up. Thank God, oh Jesus, thank God, she whispered. Her hand closed on the Kalashnikov. She must start searching. She must find him. But she couldn't bear to leave the dying man. He was conscious. I see it, he whispered, so quietly that she bent her head close to his dry, cracked lips, her ears still ringing. She didn't catch his words. He smiled up at her, the pain gone, the eyes alive with happiness. A thin smoke trail curved across the blue sky, the pilot heading home. The remaining jet turned. Would it come in again? I can see it, the old man repeated. You see the orange groves, can you see? Yes, she said softly, her eyes still on the jet. Yes, I can see. She stroked his forehead. The breath rattled in his throat and he coughed blood. I said it was beautiful. Now you know I spoke the truth. His eyes closed. God has brought me home, my home. He mouthed the last word, Palestine. He lay still. She pulled his head to her and held it for a moment, rocking gently back and forth. Slowly, she drew the Abba over the shattered chest, the face peaceful in death. She stood, alone in the street, the sky at last quiet. A dog dragged its broken leg whining in pain. Wearily she turned to where a pall of yellow dust mingled with the black smoke which hung over the decimated buildings. Nothing in there could live. A few walls reared like jagged crags in a sandstorm. Otherwise, it was rubble, and somewhere beneath it he lay dead. She leaned against a wall, forearm across her eyes, and wept for the whole damned lot of them. So that is the prologue, and this is the book. To give it its full title, The Sword, Blood Demands Blood, by me, Ruth Elliott-Smith. Find it on Amazon as a Kindle ebook, as a paperback, or shortly to be an audiobook. I hope you enjoy The Sword.